Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we're going to be giving you our top 3 best games from 2021. Now, obviously all these games will be new to me. I didn't just play games from 2021 in 2021, so there'll be another list coming out after this of games that are new to me, the top 10 games new to me that I played in 2021, which will include possibly these 3 games as well, depending on where they fall in my overall top 10 list for the year. But this one is going to focus specifically on games from this year. Now, this year I did play 304 plays of 79 different games. Out of those 79 games, 40 of them were new to me. Only 14 of those were actually from 2021, which is why this list is only 3 games, because if I give you a top 10 from 2021, well, what's that really saying about some of the games lower on that list when I only played 14 from 2021? Total play was 273 hours of play time in 2021, so that's pretty good. And another just small interesting fact, the past couple of years, past either 2 or 3 years, my primary player count was solo play games. This year, 32% of my plays were solo play, but for the first time in a long time, a different player count actually came up above that. 3 players. I played 38% of my games with 3 players, and that's a result of my new gaming group that I've gotten together as of July-ish timeframe. So that's pretty cool. Now, without anything else, we're gonna get right into our list for the best games of 2021 starting now. All right, so number 3 is Bismarck Solitaire. This one is just squeaking in on the list last minute. I got this in December. It's a game book, a World War II game book, where everything you need for play is on 2 pages in the game book, and you're actually marking with a pen, or you could do a pencil, but it really doesn't matter, on the book, and you're rolling dice to see what the enemy is going to be doing, and you're moving around on this chart. It's all about naval battle in World War II and trying to complete different missions. And you are outgunned overall in terms of, if the entire enemy navy were to find you at the same time, that would be a huge problem. But individually, you've got a pretty powerful ship, and so you're trying to make sure you don't get kind of caught like that, and if you do, you try to escape. And you have your primary ship, the Bismarck, and then you got the Prince Eugene, and then you've got a U-boat as well, and all those together you're trying to complete these missions. It is a lot of fun. Number 2 is Hadrian's Wall. What an amazing experience. What a surprise experience. I had a pretty good feeling I would like Hadrian's Wall because it comes from Garfield Games, but it absolutely blew me away and has rocketed up to one of my favorite games of all time at this point. It has the feel of a roll and write, but there's no dice. You're flipping cards once at the beginning of each round to figure out what starting resources everyone will have, and then you draw 2 more cards and pick one for a couple of additional resources and one for an in-game objective. Put them down, and then you play the round. And you also can, based on what buildings you build, what areas you fill out on the board, you'll end up with additional starting resources each round. And then at the end of each round, the picks attack. And if you haven't prepared properly, you're going to end up with some disdain from your followers who are upset that you're not protecting them from the picked attacks. And at the end of the game, all that, you score all that together and see what your final score is. It is a lot of fun. Very, very cool. Hadrian's Wall. And then number 1, Sleeping Gods. This is from Ryan Lockett. A narrative-based game. It has the feel of a campaign, but it's not really a campaign. I guess you could say it's like a miniature campaign because the campaign only lasts about 9 hours or so, at least for me. When you're playing through a game of Sleeping Gods, there's 3 different eras, not eras, I forget what it's called, chapters sort of, and each chapter takes me about 3 hours to play through, and that's an entire game of it, and so it kind of feels like a miniature campaign, and you are going through all these different islands, running out of time, but I'm going to keep talking about this for a second. You run through all these different islands on your ship, and you have a crew of 7, maybe 9 people, I can't remember, and you always use that entire crew no matter what your player count is. And as you go to these different islands, you run into different story events, and you're going to do different skill checks and collect all kinds of not resources, but items, and totems are one of the main things in the game that you're trying to collect. And depending on how many totems you collect at the end of the campaign, you may or may not be able to wake up the sleeping gods. And it has so many cool events and choices, and just a lot of fun stuff happens in Sleeping Gods. Highly recommend it. That's my list of the top 3 games from 2021. Come back and check out my top 10 list of new to me games in 2021. And we're going to be looking through the 5 years ago as well as 10 years ago, the best games from those years as well. Until next time, for Board Online, Board Offline.